I just played Super Mario Bros. For the NES for, to be honest with you, what might have been the 1000th time I've played this game. I've got this game on the Nintendo Switch, which is where I got the footage for this review. I've got this game on the Nintendo 3DS. I've got this game on the Game Boy Color. In fact, I have the Game Boy Color version on the 3DS. I'm pretty sure I have it on my Wii U. I even have the Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt cartridge for my NES. Like, I've got this on real hardware, and the reason that I've got it on so many different platforms is because, for me, this is easily got to be like one of my comfort foods in gaming. Super Mario Bros. For the NES is such a simple game to get into. Given that this was made for a 2-button controller, all you ever have to think about is, the fireball and run button, the jump button, and obviously just moving around. And because this is just the basic foundation of Super Mario Bros., there's not a whole lot going on. Like, you quickly memorize everything that's happening in the game. It's not like later Mario games, which you'll get a general gist of, and then later it'll throw something new at you, which, not complaining about that at all, but it makes this game so easy for me to just almost switch my brain off and just relax with it, because I already know what's coming up a lot of the time. Obviously, in my case, that also means that I can end up in a lot of situations where I get a little too bold and end up making some very rash decisions when jumping. Obviously, as this is the bare basics of what Super Mario Bros. Platforming would be, you only have like the mushroom, the fire flower, a star power-up, and that's about it, really. So, you're not going to get any fancy power-ups like you'd see later down the line, but honestly, I never really found myself hurting for them. Like, sure, getting like a Tanuki tail or a cape would really have helped things even more, but even when Mario is like boiled down to its barest essentials, it's just a really fun game. Mario still controls incredibly well. There's like a nice weight to his jumps, and once you've gotten used to the levels and gotten enough practice in, you can breeze through levels in such a satisfying way. And I love how when you get to the Bowsers, or as far as I'm aware, some of them are fake Bowsers, and then there's the real Bowser, that is fun in its own way, because you can either practice your movement skills by ducking and dodging Bowser to get to the axe at the end, or if you've got the Fire Flower, you can just mow Bowser down. So on a gameplay front, I still think Super Mario Bros. For the NES is a ton of fun. And I've got very few complaints there at all. Like, yeah, okay, maybe some of the more precise jumps can get a little bit frustrating. There seems to be a little bit of slipperiness there that can make things just a bit frustrating. But I don't have any that really is like a big deal to me, because the game is just so quick and simple. Like, the entire gameplay session, including playing through the game a second time, though in that case I did use the warp zones, I think overall was less than an hour. It's not a long game at all. I think I only have 2 more complaints, and even then I'm going to have to put an asterisk next to them. There's the graphics, which admittedly have aged quite a bit. Like, yes, there's definitely some nostalgia to that classic Mario sprite, but Peach does look like she's melting. And Bowser does look very odd. Like, there's some classic sprites that I still adore. The Goomba, for instance, I think looks incredible, and Mario himself, of course, looks great. But there's definitely some areas where some of the sprites just haven't aged terribly well. But again, this is like 40 years old at this point. There's a shocker for you. So it's not like I'm hammering the game too hard about that, and I still think the game looks perfectly serviceable. The music is definitely an instance where there are some absolutely killer tracks, but then you have stuff like the underground beat, which is so simple and basic. It's a bit hit and miss, but it is more hit than miss. Like, the overworld theme, the underwater theme, those absolutely slap. And in fact, it's kind of astounding to me that these became such iconic tracks that Nintendo still referenced them to this very day. So while, yes, I would have loved to see stuff like the underground theme and whatnot get expanded a little bit more, because it can get a little bit repetitive, it's still a pretty dang good soundtrack in my opinion. Overall, I think that Super Mario Bros. For the NES is such a fun game and an easy recommendation. Like, there's so many ways to play this game, and it's literally It's going to take maybe an hour of your time if you're new to the game. And if you're not new to the game, revisiting it, you're probably going to beat the game in like half an hour. If not less. There are people that beat this game in like 5 minutes nowadays. Easily a great recommendation from me. As long as you're willing to make some of the concessions that obviously it's going to lose a lot of those like creature comforts that the Mario series has gathered over the years, I still think it is a wonderfully fun game nonetheless. And well worth any Mario fan's time to check out. Although, I'm assuming you've done that already.